I moved out of that area over there to this area over here, dug another hole. My crew is looking for me, but honestly, I'm not sure how hard they're looking for me. Hi, I'm Matt, and this is Procrastination Garage. It's Friday morning around 11 a.m., and we're on the Titan Reservoir Loop Road, just a few minutes away from our campsite. A few sprinkles coming down. It was kind of sunny in town. Anyway, I finished up the packing, loading up this morning, hit the road, met up with 3 other guys, and we'll be up here setting up camp shortly.
It rained in the snow park all afternoon, but by late Friday it had stopped, and we figured it had snowed up above, so we decided to take a short ride. Our fearless leader, Jim, led us off trail, but unfortunately there wasn't enough snow, and here he is hung up on a log. They just weren't getting him up and over it. I finally had to put my camera down and go help. Of course, I managed to get stuck all by myself. Here's our camp on Saturday morning. Everybody's just getting up. The weather was really nice, so it wasn't long before we decided to take a ride. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. It looks like they're trying to pull Jim out, but Jim isn't really stuck, but he might have been a little bit earlier.
It's another one of those peaceful days in the forest, fresh snow, perfect snowmobiling. Yeah, and then there's that. So it's probably been another 30 minutes. I moved out of that area over there to this area over here, dug another hole. My crew is looking for me, but honestly, I'm not sure how hard they're looking for me. Keep talking on the radio and they're nowhere near me. They are just completely lost from where I am. I'm just about out. I've done a bunch of digging. I dug out under the sled. I dug out in front of the sled. I just need to stomp down a little bit more. I think I come out of the hole. But before I do that, I gotta put my helmet on, gotta put my shovel away, and take a little bit of a break.
This is Matt's secret meadow. Unfortunately, somebody had gotten here first, so my meadow is no longer a secret. That was too bad, but it was still a lot of fun playing around.
It's Sunday morning, about just coming up on 9 o'clock, and we're out of here. So, middle of night, early this morning, started to rain. Forecast is looking like rain for a couple more hours, and I don't know. There's just the 2 of us left. We had one guy left late last night. He was feeling sick. The other guy camping, he had planned on leaving yesterday afternoon, evening anyway. So just Johnny and I, we got up this morning like, you know what? Let's pack up and head for the house. So that's what we're doing. But let me tell you, you saw the video and pictures from yesterday. I guess there probably wasn't a ton of video or pictures, but yesterday was an awesome snowmobile day. Probably, as far as this season goes, it was in the top, I'll put it in the top 6. I'm not sure it quite made the top 5, but it was a great day snow-wise and good company and everything. So we had a blast. So the weekend was worth it. You know, I'll recap. We came up on Friday, and it was raining. It rained hard Friday night. So we actually did take a ride Friday afternoon, late and into the evening. We didn't get back to the camp until 8 o'clock, and I was after 8. And so we had a good time, but it was a short ride. We only rode about 20 miles. And honestly, yesterday we only rode about 20 miles as well, which for us, an average ride is probably 35 to 50. So it was kind of short. Anyway, but we had a good time around camp. Friday night we watched Top Gun, and on last night we watched Top Gun Maverick. Big screen projector on the wall of the tent on the inside. Cooked burgers and my homemade chili yesterday. Friday night we had hot dogs. Everybody that came up brought something. We had other guys that came up and rode with us yesterday, but for whatever reason, they loaded up and left. They were in the other parking lot, and they didn't even come back and say goodbye or nothing. It was kind of weird, but we were prepared to feed them dinner if they wanted it. But no biggie. We had a good time riding. So that's it. Headed for the house. Should be pretty smooth sailing. A little bit of snow on the road for the first 5 miles or so, and then we'll clear out and be great all the way back to town, I suspect. So next project.
Hey there, since you're still here, do me a favor, hit the like button or the dislike button, leave a comment down below, tell all your friends, and subscribe. Thanks.
It's Wednesday morning, just after 9:30 a.m. and my wife is home today, joy of joys, and she dispatched me to McDonald's to pick up breakfast for her. There it is. Okay, yes, I'm getting it for myself as well. Anyway, I wasn't really planning on doing Procrastination Garage content today, but I just wanted to point out the weather. Here it is, the end of March. Not sure when you guys will see this, but it's the end of March. And the temperature today is supposed to be up around 76, 78 degrees. That is just crazy. What's also interesting is that they are forecasting severe storms this afternoon, which is pretty rare in our area anyway. Certainly rare this time of year, but that's what's going on. There's just a lot of warm air, cold front coming through, so there's going to be some tornadoes. Probably not on our side of the state, but maybe on the western side of the state. Could be interesting. Anyway, I spent yesterday afternoon pruning cherry trees. I got about 6.5 trees done out of the 22 trees total I have to do. So that is what my project will be today. I've showed this in the past. Maybe I'll show you a tree before and after picture. But that's it. So let the day begin.
It's just about 12:30, and of the 22 trees I have to prune, we've got 10 of them done. So that one's done, that one's done, that one back there is done. You can see this is what an unpruned one looks like. That one there is even worse. We've got that row of trees there. I think there's 7, and down there are a couple of pear trees. So we're getting it done. Hopefully I'll get them all done today. Storm's coming this afternoon, supposedly, so we may have to wrap up. But I'll show you in a little bit. So I did almost 7 trees yesterday. Let's say 6.5. So basically today I've done 3.5 so far. But the ones that I've done, these are the big ones. So I've still got 2 big ones left. That one and this one. And then the rest are a lot smaller and go a lot quicker. It takes me anywhere from a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour to prune one tree. It's a breezy Thursday afternoon around 1 o'clock. And I'm drying out the pop-up tent from last weekend's camping trip. We just got poured on, and so it was all pretty wet. So this part here is the roof section with the framework. It'll dry out nicely in this breeze, and then the panels, I take them in the house and kind of dry them one at a time. So, but that's not what we're working on right now. So yesterday, the cherry trees, we did get them all pruned on both sides of the house. So see all the branches there? Probably time to get that all picked up, because next thing we need to do is we need to spray the cherry trees, and it's a lot easier to spray them when you don't have all these branches that the hose is getting caught up in. So let me get this caught up, picked up, and I'll show you when I'm done. What do you think? Think we can get rid of the plow blade for the season? Hope so.
It's Friday morning around 9 a.m. and what should I be doing? I should be at home working out in the yard. I didn't get all the branches picked up yesterday from the pruning of the cherry trees. I did get one side of the yard done, getting ready to start on the other side. Anyway, last night got a call to go snowmobiling, and so, well, what do you think I'm going to do? So after a couple days of 70 degree weather in town and 50s or better up in the mountains, let's see what the damage was done. It may have actually changed over to snow a little bit last night, so we're hopeful. Stay tuned. In case you're wondering where we're headed, headed up on White Pass behind Rimrock Lake up by Cold Creek Snow Park. And the reason being, getting to be the time of year where there's really only 2 snow parks that are good to use. Cold Creek is one, and then in the Yatanum is the other. And frankly, the trails are going to be smoother up here than they are out of the Yatanum, because grooming is over for the season.
Here is Justin stuck, and here is Clint stuck. Like son, like father? This is up on top of the Jeep Trail above Section 3. It's a great meadow. There was fresh snow, although it was snowing. On a clear day, there's a killer view of Mount Rainier from right here. It's obvious Kelly is part of this family too. Yep, Mom got stuck as well. Here is Justin going to save the day.
It's 3 p.m. and just left the snow park, headed for home. We're a little early, but I'm supposed to be home to meet my family for dinner at 4:30 at Magic's Pizza Shack. So it's important that we got back around this time. So that's good. I had a pretty good ride. We were in snow off and on all day. Wasn't helping visibility. Sun poked out a couple times, just wouldn't stay. A little bit of fresh snow, not much, very wet and sloppy snow. Surprisingly, we did see the groomer up there today. I thought grooming was done for the season, but apparently there was at least one more groom because they did it today. So that'll make conditions a little better going forward, especially for anybody riding tomorrow. Will I be riding tomorrow? Probably not. The family I rode with today, the son, Justin, he was thinking about riding tomorrow. But he's all thinking about headed back to Oregon where he's living right now. So we'll see. But it was a great day, and this puts me up at ride number, I don't know, 38, I think, for the season, something like that. So I'd like to get 45. I should be able to hit 40 anyway. So I don't think winter's over. It's cooling down from the 70s we had a couple days ago. So it is what it is. Of course, I may be running out of people that want to go ride, but we'll see.
It's Tuesday afternoon around 2 p.m. And what kind of project are we working on today? Kind of a goofy one, really. Not using the proper materials, using what I've got on hand. So I got this board here, which is about a 2x3. It's one that I custom made for something a long time ago, and it's a leftover chunk, about 5 feet long. I'm going to cut it down into 2 2-foot lengths and 1 1-foot lengths. What do you suppose I'm going to do with it? Stand by. right, what do you think? Do you have any idea what I'm doing? You know, it's kind of hard because you don't know what else I've been doing today and what I've got planned for tomorrow. So you just have to wait and see. Next step is to drill some holes. Look at that drill bit. That ought to tell you something. Now, what do you think it looks like? Well, just wait a minute. It'll be real redneck in just a second. You can see it started to rain. Raining pretty hard, actually. Glad I finished up down there by the shop. I was working on that trailer there. Kind of damp now. So, there's what we're doing. Redneck, you bet. Should be made of metal. Don't have any metal. We'll call this a proof of concept, although we'll run it until it breaks. So, this piece here is going to go underneath, but I need to drill one more hole back there. I figured I'd just set it up this way, drill the hole, then I'll move it. And then I'll show you when it's hooked up to the ATV and why. There you go, all done. I thought I was supposed to put the wood underneath the metal there, but when I did, it wasn't sitting level. And that's been the whole reason to do this, is because as you can imagine, that spot there, hooking up there on the ATV, the thing was tilted to the back quite a bit. And the problem with that is that when you start running low on spray, it all would congregate at the back. And the pickup is right there at the center. And so you'd have a bunch of spray in there that you couldn't use, or a bunch of chemical you couldn't use. So like I said, this is not very elegant. I used scrap wood, I used scrap bolts. I didn't even cut the bolts off or anything. In fact, I had to use washers for spacers. But you know what? That's okay. Redneck is good in this case. So now we're ready to spray. I'm hoping to spray tomorrow morning if there's no wind and no weather. We'll see. It's late Wednesday morning, a little after 11 a.m. And don't you hate it when solving one problem creates another? So what are we talking about? The electrical. See the cord there, wire comes across, and it's supposed to hook up right there. It no reach, just a little short, and that's straight on. So what we need to do, lengthen that wire, which looks like well, actually I didn't lengthen. I think all I did is I replaced that end maybe. Anyway, now we're going to lengthen it, add a foot or two to it so it reaches. So the plan was to spray this morning, and in fact I could have sprayed. I just had to jackknife the ATV, which means I would have had to disconnect the electrical every time I moved the ATV. Turned out, I don't know if you can tell, see the wind blowing? Yeah, it was blowing at 6:30 this morning too. So anyway, let's get some wire and extend this. We're making good progress. You can see I snipped the wires there, and I've got them stripped. It's 14 gauge wire. I found some 14 gauge red, found some 14 gauge black. So, and I got my connectors with the heat shrink, and we're going to go ahead and we'll hook up to this end here, and then we'll stretch it out and figure out how long we need to cut it off. I made my connections at the end closest to the tank sprayer, and then I kind of taped up the two wires together all the way around, and now I'm going to hook those two ends up to there, and then we're done. Well, then we got to drape around here. I decided I'd rather have too much wire than not enough, so I left plenty of extra. There you go, all done. Just need to put some electrical tape on that, plug it in and see if it works. Spoiler alert, I know it does because I had it plugged in when I hooked up the last two wires and my pump started. There you go. It's in recirculating mode right now, so it's basically mixing up the chemical, which is a good thing. All plugged in. I've got it wrapped around there a couple times with the extra. So we're ready to go. Hopefully tomorrow morning there'll be no wind, and we'll get the spraying done of the trees. Alright, I need to go do some mowing. It's a Thursday morning, headed up in the mountains just to take a drive, and looky what we have here. Yeah, these guys have been hanging out in the middle of the road for the last week or so. They're licking the salt off the road is what they're doing. You
may recall from a recent video where I referenced that I'd come around the corner and seen them in the middle of the road, but wasn't smart enough to pull my camera out. Well, I was thinking ahead of time today and got it. Anyway, as I mentioned, just headed up in the mountains for a couple of hours just to get out of town. Gonna go snowmobiling tomorrow, but going to a different place. So today we're sticking to the lowlands where there's no snow or very little snow. So let's see what we see. Not sure I said what pass I'm on. Came up on Chinook Pass. Just turned on the Nile River Road, coming around and gonna make a turn on 1600 Road and just see how far we can drive up. So yesterday I was working on getting my tank sprayer all ready to spray cherry trees this morning. Got up early, went down there, brought it out, unrolled the hose, turned on the pump, nothing. What I didn't anticipate was how cold it got last night. I left the tank sprayer outside, and even though most of the liquid was still in liquid form, some of it had frozen, and so in the spray nozzle it had little ice chunks in it. And the reason I know that is because I took the sprayer off and in the house and was going to tear it apart and see what was wrong, and that's what I discovered, is little chunks of ice in there. So no spraying today. Notice the wind is already picking up, so I'll try and keep it warm and maybe spray tomorrow morning, although going snowmobiling tomorrow may not have time. And I mean, come on, what's more important, snowmobiling or spraying cherry trees? It's definitely snowmobiling. Now we're on 1600 Road, also known as Clover Springs Road, because it runs all the way up to Clover Springs if you do it right. Well, we've already reached some snow. May not be much further before we end up having to turn around. You know, part of what today is looking to see if it's time to bring the side-by-side out yet. If we got any places we can go play. And definitely a side-by-side can go more places than my truck can. So I don't know. We'll just go up this way a little bit further. I'm not really prepared to get stuck today. I didn't bring any recovery gear, so we're not going to do anything stupid. Alright, we're stopping and turning around here. I just came through a section that was a bit questionable, and it's just going to keep getting worse. So it's time to turn. Turned around, headed down. This is the section that it was kind of sketchy that I probably shouldn't have come up through, just because it's a little deep if I was to sink through. Like I said, no recovery gear. So it's pretty firm right now. It's going to soften up as the day progresses. So we definitely don't want to be up here then. Alright, well, what did we learn? We learned there's a few places we can ride, but not a lot. Well, I mean, we don't know how much further up we could have gone. So, I don't know, maybe set up a side-by-side ride for next week. And just like that, we're back on pavement, headed back to town. It was just a quick trip up, a couple, 3 hours, but that's alright. Enough time to just get out of town, and sometimes that's what's needed. And again, like I said, I'm hoping to go snowmobiling tomorrow. That's the plan. So let's get back home and do some work, whatever that may be. So I took another little detour. As I was coming back down the Nile Road, I decided to turn on the 1500 Road, which leads, it's a rattlesnake drainage and leads over Bethel Ridge. Just wanted to see if the berm was still at the snow park. Not only was the berm gone, there's no sign of snow anywhere. So I drove up the road for, I don't know, probably 3-4 miles. Before I decided to turn around. Not hardly a stitch of snow, so we could also bring the side-by-side up in this area. Now, as soon as we hit snow up here, technically it's still a closed snowmobile trail, so probably wouldn't go any further if the snow got very deep, but there's some places to explore down lower. So may bring the side-by-side over in this area too, and actually it's legal to ride on the Nile Road due to the speed limit being 35 miles an hour. So we could actually hit several of these areas all in one day if we keep running into snow and have to backtrack. So something to think about. I mean, it's early April as I'm videoing this. Snowmobile season usually runs through the middle of the month and maybe the end of the month, and I've snowmobiled into May and even June occasionally. So it's hard to say. We could get some snow, but probably not. So I'm just go ahead and planning on starting the transition to the summer toy. And part of the reason for the transition too is finding people to ride with. Honestly, my ride group, they seem to pack it in early, except for a couple of guys. So, you know, and that's all right. But when there's so good snow up there, I hate to miss it.
Are you still here? That means you made it to the end of another episode of Procrastination Garage. Hope you enjoyed the video. So, I don't know if you can hear the lawnmower behind me. It is June 2nd, and I'm still showing snowmobiling videos in my Procrastination Garage videos. And the next video is going to have one more ride, but then I'm done. Then we're moving on to other things. So please check back. Hope to be back on at least a 2-week schedule. That's kind of where we're at right now. I may be 2 weeks in a day. It's just tough getting them out any faster and trying to get other projects done. It is what it is. Appreciate you guys watching though. Do me a favor down in the comments. Tell me about the projects you're working on or the things you're procrastinating about. Love to hear about it. Remember, my name is Matt. This is Procrastination Garage, and hope to see you soon. Thanks.